All right, great evening, everybody. I want to thank every one of you who showed up this afternoon. You could have been anywhere, but you're here, and we appreciate it. My name is Terrell Bilbo. I am so super excited to really just come to you guys today. There's been a lot going on in the market, and as you see on the screen, it says, is your money safe in the bank? With everything that's going on in our current economy, we are in some very important times. Um, if you've been through the 2008 crash, you kind of get the remnants of what's going on. And I would always say that I am grateful for being able to go through that and come out on the other side with the information that I did. And with so much going on with banking and our whole financial system is changing right now, the question is your money safe in the bank? What kind of moves do you need to be making in order to secure yourself and secure your family, right? Because we can think that it won't happen. We can be overly optimistic, but the truth of the matter is it's happening right in front of our face. And the thing that you need to keep in mind, especially in these times, this is the first time in history that we'll have a banking collapse or a banking crisis that we're having, and there will be an alternative, right? There'll be an alternative to go to a blockchain technology. There'll be alternative to go to cryptocurrency. There'll be alternative to go into tokenization of assets. And I want to impress on you this evening that this is very important information and this is a very important time. And to miss this opportunity or miss this wave, I don't think it's one that can be recovered from, because our whole system is changing. Everything about what we're getting ready to do is changing. And if you're not on the forefront of this technology and taking full advantage of this technology, that gap will be so big that I think it will be, in some cases, for most people, insurmountable, right? But the good news, because there's always good news. The good news is that you're positioned perfectly in front of one of the largest waves of financial wealth that we will ever see in our lifetime. So please pay attention to what we have to speak about today. But I wanted to start with that because success leaves clues and everything is happening all around us. We want to make sure that we're locked in and we're focused on everything that's happening so we can take full advantage of it. All right. And with that being said, I wanted to do our business overview today of our Tokenize Ambassador program. First and foremost, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Please consult your professional when making financial decisions. So our vision here at Tokenize Assets to empower millions of people with wealth creation through tokenization. Again, why this will be so important? Because of what's going on in the world, everything that's going on in the world. We believe tokenization will be the solution, right? So what is tokenization? Tokenization enables fractional ownership of illiquid and alternative assets that traditionally require high capital investment and hits a limited investor base, such as real estate, private securities, and art. Investors can hence benefit from a wider range of asset choices due to the increased affordability, facilitating portfolio diversification, while sellers can benefit from their assets having greater liquidity. I was having a conversation with our CEO just last week. She came from a commercial real estate event in Florida. And she told me, she said, Trey, they don't even know that they're screwed. They don't even know that lenders, just with the interest rate, lenders are not lending anymore, are in record to these larger developments. The market is getting ready to do a downturn. Commercial real estate is in trouble. And where are they going to go to find funding? Tokenization. We are so perfectly positioned on what's getting ready to happen. So that's why it's so exciting. But again, you look at, and this is why HSBC says tokenization will be a $24 trillion industry by 2027. Think about all the commercial real estate. They will have to tokenize these assets. They say we see tokenization as an enabler to lower the barrier of entry to investing to half of the world's population by paring down the minimum investment amount required. DLT, blockchain technology, can also give investors access to assets that traditionally will require high capital investment, real estate, private security, augmenting the universe of investment options available. Guys, now that everybody can participate in building their downtown, building their shopping malls, their strip centers, right? That's what we're getting ready to do. So the advantages of tokenization, especially when it comes to real estate, right, is greater divisibility, fractional ownership, high liquidity, because now we have millions of investors instead of the few that trade back and forth. I was listening to one of the hedge fund managers saying we can only trade back and forth with each other for so long. So they're looking for a new pool of money, right? And that's what tokenization gives us. So speed, cost reduction, and a new investment in rental models. So it is often easier to make something 10x better than it is to make it 10% better. DLT has arrived, propelling the rise of tokenization and thus enabling the market to be 10x more efficient, 10x more inclusive, 10x more resilient. And to do this, it requires taking the path less trodden, right? And undergoing the risk of failure for the larger payoff, guys. And we are out front. We believe that we are out front. It is less than 1% of the world actually understands what tokenization is. And we have already launched a platform in a $24 trillion industry. So that's why we get so excited about this platform. It says once a property or real estate fund or financial instrument is tokenized, the real advantages come into play. Subsequent transactions are instant, nearly free of charge, and if done properly without counterparty risk. This is an absolute game changer for the industry, right? And then BlackRock goes on to say, Larry Fink says the next generation of markets is tokenization. This is a $10 trillion hedge fund that has that they might know a thing or two about what's going on in the market, right? They believe that the next generation of markets will be tokenization. So when we look at the problem, everybody wants to earn income from real estate investment, which is very, very important right now. Because if I have my money in the bank, there's a chance that I can lose it. But if I have my money in a house that's creating revenue for me, then that's the kind of cash flow and that's the kind of assets that I want to have, right? So less than 20% have the cash or credit to do so. So millions are priced out until now. So you have your hedge funds, your investors, your good credit guys, they monopolize the system. They have access to all of the wealth and the ability to do these deals, right? So 70% of society are non-participants. Well, we look to change that. So how can we change the lives of 70% of society? Of course, tokenization is our answer. All buyers are united. Many smaller buyers, they now participate along with the stronger buyers, and everybody gets a seat at the table. You have greater liquidity, you have diversification, and you have the democratization of one of the largest asset classes in the world, right? So our tokenization process is very simple. We follow SEC guidelines. So every asset that we put on our platform is filed with the SEC exemption. So first and foremost, we do a professional property inspection. So we do all of the due diligence, make sure the appraisal, the surveys, everything is done. All the due diligence is complete. Once that property is approved, the property is then put under a 90-day listing agreement, right? And then we put that property on our platform. The property is then listed on the marketplace, and once the property is fully tokenized, the LLC will close on the property, and then we will also close at a traditional title company, as well as putting these documents on the blockchain for the first time. I'll say that again, putting these documents on the blockchain for the first time. That's huge, guys, because when you think 3 years, 5 years down the line, when everybody is on the blockchain and utilizing, these will be some of the first properties that will ever appear on the actual blockchain. Right? So we have a marketplace, and we'll go into that as well. But so when we're looking at all of our token holders, right? So whether we're selling a property, whether we're listing the property, corporate housing, Airbnb, with just $500, you now become a real estate investor. Now, how many lives would that change by saying, hey, by creating that discipline, that habit of saying, I'm gonna put $500 a month aside to invest and build me a portfolio, right? The single mom can do that. You know, the dad with the kids can do that. The family can do that. The grandma can do that, and really start to diversify their portfolio. These college kids can now do that with just $500. And then when we look 3 to 5 years down the line, what have they built for themselves, right? So when we look at our marketplace, we want the user experience to be amazing. So we've done a lot of work on this back end, making it user friendly, making sure you can flow in and out. So say this is a a property that you want to invest in, so you get to see everything about it. So all of the target price, how much has been raised so far, you'll get to see what your IRR and your cash on cash is. So just to break that down, your cash on cash is the money that you invest and the money that you return back to you within a 12-month period of time. And then your IRR is your cash on cash plus the appreciation of your asset. So say if you have a 8% cash on cash and you have a 10% appreciation, then you have an 18% IRR on that particular property. So that's how that's calculated. And then we'll have all the pictures, all the details you need to know. And we have some amazing enhancements to our platform. You know, being able to go in these different properties virtually, right? And really getting, if you were down there in Miami with us and you got to take the virtual tour, imagine being able to do that on all the properties that are on the Tokenized Asset platform and giving people a real experience of the assets that they're buying. So I don't know about you, but anybody who experienced that VR tour in Miami, it's so real, like they can't help but to buy once they go through that process, right? And that's what we're looking to bring to the platform. You'll have all the descriptions of that particular asset, so you'll find everything there. And say this is a property you want to tokenize, you will hit tokenize. You're gonna have two options. You can either play with USD, ACH, or you can do a crypto transfer into the platform. You're gonna verify that payment, and then you're going to get a receipt. The receipt is going to have a transaction hash here, and this actual transaction hash will be found on the blockchain. So this is the first recording. This is your receipt of ownership found on the blockchain. And then you can go back to your dashboard now, and now every property that you invest in, your portfolio, you can see all the details there in running order. How many tokens you have, the value of those tokens, your IRR, cash on cash, and your monthly earnings. Now, being that SEC requires us to hold our assets for at least a year, but at that point, you're able to go to the marketplace, our secondary marketplace, and put your assets up. So say if everybody on this call, we invested in a property, and say Mr. Richardson says, hey, you know, I've been in for a year, I've done well, I want to go to the marketplace and sell my tokens. He's able to do that. He's able to go and get that liquidity that he needs without affecting anybody else's ownership in this asset. So that's the benefit of tokenization. Now, if we all want to sell, then a survey will go out. If 60% says, yes, we want to sell, then we sell the asset. But if, you know, the survey goes out and 60% doesn't say we want to sell, only one person, you're able to still go to the marketplace and get liquidity. Though that's one of the biggest things we're solving for tokenization, is that the illiquid of the asset. So we're giving everybody instant liquidity after a year, of course. All right. So we have two models here in our system. So you could either become a fractional investor, or you could become an ambassador, or you can do both. It's really up to you, but you don't have to be an ambassador to be a fractional investor. So let's say you want to be a fractional investor. You have two options, and we're changing this up a little bit, but the basic membership, because we don't believe that is basic, because you're getting a great education and you're starting in a premier platform. So, well, for now, we'll say the basic membership, $9.97 a month on that one, or you can pay it all up front. We'll give you those options. You invest in the assets on the platform, and you get a basic real estate education. which is most important to us. We want to make sure that we're informing you every step of the way so you can make informed decisions. And then you have your premium membership, $47 a month, or you can pay that all up front as well. And then you have access to our private listings, first look up to 72 hours long, in our exotic assets. When we're talking about the apartment complex, when you're talking about buildings like 11 there in Miami that you're able to tokenize, these are the closed door deals that you'll have access to with your premium membership. So when we look at this $24 trillion industry in just 3 short years, we ask ourselves, what can we do together, putting these assets on the blockchain? And then, when we look at some of the other platforms out there, they're limited in some of the things that they allow. So they don't allow participation for everybody. Everybody can't participate, right? Most people have to be an accredited investor. They cut out the middleman. If you think about real estate and the millions of agents that are out there, right? They need an opportunity to participate in this market as well, right? So we built this platform with that in mind. Other platforms, you have to hold the investment up to 5 to 7 years, and then again, you have to be a qualified investor, which rules out a lot of people, right? So when you look at some of the other competition, guys like Jeff Bezos, he's in this market. He's in this market, and he's not in this market to make a few $100s. He's in this market to make billions, right? If not more, right? But he's invested in this space, right? And then you look at Lofty. When we first started doing our research on this space, Lofty was one of the companies that jumped out. Lofty raised, $5 million, and within 2 years had $100 million evaluation on their company, right? So again, success is leaving clues. We're in the right space. So when we look at what Tokenize Assets has been able to do with just, little under a year of development and building our organization and building our team and building our community, we're sitting at a $323 million evaluation in just a short period of time. And you might ask, how is that even possible, right? But if you think about $24 trillion industry in just 4 years, that is mega growth. That is absolutely mega growth. So these type of evaluations, especially with a platform like ours, is very, very possible, right? So when we look at our tokenized model, the tokenized versus your traditional model, you have your traditional real estate broker, 5 years. And at that point, you're able to recruit other agents and, benefit off the efforts of others at that point. And then you're able to list but you're only able to list on your state or your local jurisdiction, right? You don't have a national database, and that average cost is somewhere around $350,000. Now, we look at our tokenized ambassador day one. You have some of the same functionalities. You can bring listings to the table. You can bring buyers to the table. Day one, you're able to recruit other ambassadors. So you build out your own agency, so to speak, on the blockchain, right? And then you have a national database from day one that you're able to list your properties in. And closer to the end of this year, you'll have an international database that you're able to list international properties, and that average cost is somewhere around 25,000, right? So a fraction of a cost, fraction of the time, you're able to do the same or more than the traditional broker. When you look at the time spent, 60 calls a day, 5 clients per week for a less than 1% closure ratio, right? But imagine if that agent, 97% of everybody that she came in contact with was a potential buyer, was a potential investor. Why? Because now with just $500, everybody qualifies, right? No credit. Your DTI doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have any of these things. You have $500, you can start building yourself a portfolio, right? That has to be exciting. So when we combine both of these business models, we feel like we've created a world-changing business shift in investments and how it's done, right? So when we look at our different partners, because these are our partners, our ambassadors are our partners. We have the Tokenize Associate all the way up to the National Ambassador. So if you've been here before, we've eliminated 2 of the top tiers so we can bring some of that money down to make it more beneficial for everybody. Whether you're just getting started or you're sitting at a National Ambassador rank, everybody will benefit from this platform. So when we look at the 5 ways to get paid, you get paid by bringing listings and buyers to the platform, members, that bonus pool that's just going to get bigger and bigger. And now now that we brought it down some, just on that second level, you get to start participating in the bonus pool, right? So that's amazing. And then the package referrals and getting other members in, right? So first and foremost, though, education. Every ambassador has to get a certification, has to take a 6-hour course. We want to make sure first and foremost that you are in compliance with SEC and everything that you're going out and speaking about on the company, you know exactly what you're talking about. And then when we talk about HSBC saying half of the world's population is coming into this space. Guys, you know what that spells for me? It's a blue ocean. That means we have a lot of opportunity and a lot of people who are going to need to understand what is tokenization? How does it work? Where do I move my money? How do I invest for my family? They're going to need people to help them do that. And I believe our ambassadors will be on the front line helping them do that. And also the continuing education. We'll continue to make sure that our ambassadors have all the latest information, whether it be technology, AI, to make sure we're out there serving the community like we need to. All right. So our beginner stage is our tokenized associate. You getting paid 1.25 on your members and your listings you bring to the platform. You immediately start to you can build your organization from the start. 10% of everybody that you personally enroll, 7% of the people that your partners enroll, $12.94. Now that's a steal to get started. Basically opening up your own business for $12.94. Then you have your tokenized representative, 1.5% on your members and your listings, 15% of the people you personally enroll, 12% of your partners who they enroll, $49.97. But now, guys, we are participating in the bonus pool. And a point that I always like to make is understand that this company is in its infancy stages. We are less than 100 ambassadors strong in this particular company, right? I want you to imagine when there's 1,000 ambassadors, 10,000 ambassadors, and you're making 10% of all the breakage that comes through this company by getting in early or getting in at the tokenized representative level, right? And then you have your tokenized ambassadors, 2%. 2% on your members, 2% on your listings, and then 20% of the people you personally enroll, 17% of the people that your partners enroll, 99.97, but 20%, 20% of that bonus pool you're not participating in. We have your regional ambassadors, 2.25% on your members and your listings, 25% of the people that you personally enroll, 22% of the people that your partners enroll, 25,000, 30% of the bonus pool you're now participating in. And then we have our national ambassador, 2.25% on our members and our listings, 30% of the people you personally enroll, 27% of the people that your partners enrolls, $50,000 package, 40% of the bonus pool you're now participating in. And I got to give a shout out to two people, Mr. Jackson and Mr. Clardy Richardson. These are our two top tier national ambassadors, so they are sharing that 40% with just them two. So if I was some of you guys, I would get up there with them so you can share in the fun. Okay. So when we look at our ambassadors' monthly benefits, our CRM, guys, we are a technology company first, right? So when we talk about the CRM, we are implementing a company called WooSender, right? It's an AI technology that as long as all you have to do is get them into the system, whether it be through funnels, whether it be through posting, whatever the case may be, get your people in, get them in front of this information. But guys, once we have them inside of the system, the AI will follow up with them until they're ready to make a decision. Or it will sort them and say, this is not a good candidate for you, and it will kick them out of your database. So you don't have to be worried about following up on leads that'll never lead to anywhere. Right. And then you have your membership on the tokenized marketplace. So every ambassador gets their own membership on the marketplace. So you can start to, take some of these earnings that you're making and build your own real estate portfolio as well. You have custom marketing collateral. Everybody will have QR codes, anything that you need to build your business, you'll have it, and the continued education. Like I said, we take it very seriously. We want to make sure that you guys have the best information to go out here and do your job. So we'll make sure we keep the continuing education going. And then when we look at a map, right, a map to financial benefit in this plan, right? So if you have 10 personal enrollees, 5 associates, 3 representative, 3 ambassadors. On that regional ambassador level, you're getting paid 25%. That's $10,364, right? Now, let's say again, we talked about the Woo Center, we talked about the AI. So we're putting duplication in action in this particular platform. So say if 3 people duplicate your efforts and they go get 5 associates, 3 representatives, 2 ambassadors. On that second level, you're getting paid 22%, right? So that's an additional $27,360 combined. You're looking at $37,724. Okay, man, that should get exciting because I know some people on here that got, with one text they can get 20 people to come in, right? So to be able to make this type of revenue is amazing, right? But the most importantly, guys, is the community, right? Most importantly is the community. We have some big some large giants in this space that have amazing communities. And at the end of the day, guys, that's what it's all about. If we want this platform to be successful, we have to go out here and build these communities. So when we put these assets up, they're tokenized within minutes. And then what will that do for us? What will that do for everybody who's involved with this platform? It's only going to help it grow. So when you bring a property to the platform, and you should rest assured that that property is going to get tokenized within minutes, and you're going to get your listing fee. Or if you bring in buyers to the platform, you know that other buyers are going to join in, and you're going to get paid on that asset fast because we're going to sell out fast because we're building out the community, right? So the only question that's left is, how do I take a piece of this next $1 trillion industry? And either become a tokenized ambassador today or become a fractional investor. It's truly up to you. But again, I have to reiterate, guys, we are in very, very important times, right? So it is important for us to take hold of this information and start to think about our investment trajectory, 3 to 5 to 10 years. What does this economy look like in 3 to 5 to 10 years? What does blockchain technology, tokenization, cryptocurrency, what does that look like in 3 to 5 years? And how did you position yourself in front of what we believe to be one of the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime? So with that, I'll yield. And if there's any questions, we can answer those now.